Good morning. My name is Meera Kapur, and I welcome you to the Foundation for India Studies,
Good morning.
oral history project held in collaboration with Houston Community College and Houston Public Library. This is the project where we record oral history of first-generation Indians. The recorded history is stored permanently in the Houston Public Library. I thank Krishna Vabilala for his vision of such a noble project and the Houston Public Library to store first-generation Indian Americans' life history. Our guest today is Ms. Reshmi Sarma.
Thank you for having me here, Meera.
Thank you to come here. Now, we just interviewed Mr. Sharma. Now, let's start with you. Your journey from India to USA.
Well, my journey started when I got married to Sunny in 1977. I came here about 6 months later in 78, and since then it's history. I enjoyed it. I have always traveled all my life, so it was something new for me to be in a country which was, with no family, nobody out here, and started with the family, and that was it.
Going with that. So how about your life in India before coming? So we can compare.
Well, my life in India, I traveled a lot with my dad. He was an IAS officer, so he was every 3 years we went to a different part of the world or different part of India. So from day one we were traveling.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it, but finally when we were in Delhi, I did my master's, my bachelor's and master's in French, and as well as history honors. So with French, I used as an interpreter and translator with all the UNICEF and United Nations that came to Delhi for conferences. And I was exposed to a lot of people, so I was,
International.
And that's when I came to United States. I loved it because that was one part of the world I had not been there before with my dad.
That's great. That's great. So when you came here, it was an easy transition.
It was a very easy transition.
Okay.
Just a little bit difficult because there was no family, and and since Sunny and it was an arranged marriage, we were trying to get to know each other. We had no idea who he was, and he had no idea who I was. We got married, and he left for Houston. And so when I came 6 months later. That's when it all started, and we got to know each other.
That's great. So when you came here, was it just easy? Did you get a job? How to keep yourself busy when you come to this country?
One thing, Sunil was involved with the hospital, the healthcare system. I had never entered a hospital before. I had no idea what an IV solution is. I didn't even know what a needle is. Because first of all, I was young, nobody had got sick in the house. And when I come here, Sunil is talking about things which I had no idea, I decided that I'll go and work in a hospital. And I started with Texas Children, St. Luke's, Texas Florida.
What did you do there?
And I was in a place where I can know things, what IV is, what's a So I started with Central Service. It was a very, a job where Sunny was the management at the top, and I was right there. But I learned. Within 6 months, I was up there in the supervisor, and I learned everything from ground zero.
Right.
And I enjoyed it, and to this day, I have still my friends over there. My 3 boys were born there too.
Oh, good. It's in 1978.
1978. I was there for 2 years, and when my first one was born in 1980, I worked till the 14th of August, 15th of August, my son was born.
Oh, okay. So you worked till the end.
Till the end.
Good.
And, I still volunteer there, but I enjoyed it.
So how did you survive with Sunil being so busy and having a child at home? How difficult was it, or how easy it was?
Well, it was pretty difficult in the beginning because we had one car. And Sunil he was doing his MBA as well. He hadn't finished it. So he would go at 7 in the morning and come about 10:30 in the night. And to keep myself busy, I would actually sometimes even walk to the grocery store to pick up one milk, just with the stroller and everything, because that was just
to do something.
To do something.
Yeah.
And that's all I did at that time, to take care of the baby. And he would come in the night about 10:30, and then again the same morning everything started.
Right. But it's fun to be with kids.
It was.
The day was so fast.
No, I never had a time that I had nothing to do or I'm bored.
Right.
Actually, also I bought a lot of soap operas at that time.
Exactly. Sit with them or just sleeping, taking a nap.
But I enjoyed it. There was not a boring time at all.
So your mother-in-law joined you?
My mother-in-law joined in '82 when my second son was born, and my father-in-law passed away. So we decided to call her here. And after that, it was a very busy time. Then my sister-in-law moved with her husband, and it was like constantly busy. I had 2 big child, and there was nothing to think about at that time, except because Sunny was so busy with his things, so I had to take care of the home department.
And you were socializing too.
So
that's how I got to meet you.
Well, that's the one thing we did was, I think there was not a single Friday or Saturday, and it's with all Indians, I think, that Friday and Saturday was a socializing time.
That's right. So
And you got to know a lot of people and got involved in a lot of things.
that's great. And I know your boys are so well behaved, so well mannered, like Sunil just said. But what do you think about raising them? How difficult it was? How easy it was? It's a question for mother.
Yeah. It was both. Easy because at home I had my mother-in-law, my family, my sister-in-law. So we had the same Indian culture, Indian bonding, Indian. But we didn't say that you have to be an Indian. You have to be your person. You have to take your culture. Do not ever forget where you came from.
Exactly.
But you take again the best of East and West, because when you go to school and you're a little kid, you don't know anything about that. They make fun, and then the peer pressure. So we brought them up with both the culture, the best of West and the best of East.
I think I have 2 boys, as you know. I always think it's different raising boys and girls. So my experience only with boys, and I know it's tough.
It is. I think so too. It's tough because I also raised boys. I don't know how I would raise girls. It would be, I think, very difficult.
Yeah. So when they grew up, went to college, when did you start getting into the volunteering? Because I know you're very volunteer, and I work with you on one of the organizations.
So I started volunteering as soon. Well, I decided to do it when my 2 were born. They were in the 1st grade, because I did not want to leave them till they were in kindergarten, because I want to be home when they come home. And in kindergarten, as you know, they come back at 12 o'clock.
Exactly.
But as soon as I had everybody in the 1st grade, I decided to volunteer with the school, PTO. And with the PTO, mostly I volunteered with the special ed children. So that I'm more into helping where it is needed. It's not that the regular kids don't need it, but it is but the disability with handicap, they need more. And that's where I started with the elementary school, went all the way up, graduated with my children from in high school.
That's good.
And it has not stopped.
Good. Okay, so tell me, what do you think about your kids if they get married with different culture and religion? We as mothers, I think, are the more toughest one to adjust.
I know.
What do you think about that?
I think that at the end of the day, it is the person. It's not the color, the caste, or the creed, or religion. It is important, and I know that I have, taught my children, or they've seen it mostly. They see their father, they see me, that they will not bring a person who will not be compatible with us. They are very caring, and I'm actually very, very proud of them. I know that they will not bring somebody. They can be anybody. Can be, I don't see color, and neither do they, as you know with your children.
Right.
But they do know how to respect some family, their family values, family culture, and I don't think we'll have any problem. So
Good. Besides volunteering in the schools, I know you volunteer with the other organizations. Can you talk about that?
yes, as after they graduated, they went to college. I decided that again, I always go for somebody that is they need me more than the others. And we founded an organization called Asians Against Domestic Abuse. But first I had joined the Fort Bend County Women's Center. I was on their board of directors.
Oh, okay.
Again, I want to learn something before I start something.
Right.
So that I know what hurdles I will cross.
Yeah.
And I'm still on the board council of resources. And we founded this Asians Against Domestic Abuse because I think we saw the need of these Asian women, Chinese, Korean, because they did not speak the language. And as you all know, we Asians are very timid. We're very shy. And we don't want to have our dirty laundry and we're scared that how can we tell that our husband is beating us or he's beating. So we decided to find this Asians Against Domestic Abuse. We have advocates from their country, so they speak their language. And we are only one of a kind in the United States.
Great. Yeah, it's good.
And also this is our 15th year.
Oh my goodness, it's been that long.
And you know that you were on our board for a little while.
It's busy. You're always busy with something or the other. So anything else that you would, we asked all the questions from Sunil. So I was thinking what to ask you.
No, the thing is with like Asians Against Domestic, I'm also involved with Rotary as well.
Okay.
Big time. We founded a thing called Rotary Community Corps.
Oh.
It's for the spouses who do not want to attend me if they do not have time to attend. But we still do all the projects.
Good.
We do all the charity work. And anyway, anything Sunny overtakes, I finish it. He'll take one of the projects and all. And we have student exchange from different countries. My thing is community, professional volunteer.
Right.
I enjoy helping people, working with people.
Yeah.
And I don't know what, and involved with my family because I have my family staying, my mother-in-law lives with me.
Right. And how old are your boys now?
Oh, they are
Sanjay is
35, 34, 33 and a half, and 26.
26.
And two are in med school, well, they're medical doctors. And the third one is doing cancer research at Yale right now.
Oh, okay.
And deciding to be a doctor, so he's giving his MCAT next month.
Very good. Yeah, good decisions and looking at parents how.
Yes, I think it's more with what we have at home that makes a difference with the children growing up in their values and their aspects of life is based on their father and their moms.
Right. It's just
And the grandmother helps a lot because she keeps the culture running, Diwali, Holi, and everything, all the things that we follow through at home. They still touch their grandmother's feet every morning and every night.
That's great. Good values. So last thing, your thoughts about coming to States. I mean, do you ever think what would be like if I was in India at this time or, anything?
No. I think, very different. But I am happy where I am, and that becomes my home. Their people becomes my friend. I still have my. It's not that in India, I still have my friends from my college days. We still communicate. We still go to each other's children's weddings. So I love wherever I am.
Good.
And I take the best I can from where I am. Being in the United States now 40 years. And it's part of my house. I go to India. We were in Churu. Son just built a temple here in his father's name. I was in Churu. It was in June. It is very, very hot. But I had wearing a sari with this much, all the borlas and all dressed up in 105-degree temperature.
And nobody recognizes him, Reshmi.
For 6 days because we were doing havans and all that. That was good too. That was fun.
Very good. Thank you, Reshmi.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed talking to you. I think I've known you so much, so well, but just going through all this interview, I got to know you both, and like I said, say my hello to your mom.
Thank you for having, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. I was just telling my children today, they asked me where I was going, and I said, when we have great-great-grandchildren.
Right.
They can go to University of Houston and read about their great-great-grandparents.
And that's what I said, Krishna ji thought
This was
such
an
a good
excellent
project.
idea for the future generations of Indians coming over here.
Right.
And that because our children will be probably learn a lot more
Yeah,
than what we can tell them.
right. It's the great grandchildren will
Yeah,
really.
yeah, because our children, they were brought up with us.
Right, right.
But their children maybe a little bit, but their
Yeah,
children
the future.
will be proud to read what their great-grandparents did
Started in
Yes.
this country.
I think they would be very, very proud and thank Mr. Waliwala for whatever he started.
Good.
It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Reshmi.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.